Good morning. You know what day it is? That's right. It's Friday, February 27th, 2026. We've made it to the last day of the regular work week with more opportunities to come over the weekend. It's also 20 days until the beginning of spring. And yes, am I counting it down relentlessly? I do so without apology. 20 more days. In the meantime, it's below freezing at the moment. There's snow in the forecast in the next week, because we just need to be, winter's just hanging on, it's declaring its role, at least here. Now, other places, it's way too warm. I know my friends in Colorado are just like, they're worried that the the summer's going to be brutal with fire because there just hasn't been enough snow, and that's not the only place. There's other places. I think Tokyo is unseasonably warm. In fact, they've pretty much got spring arriving right now. And so that is certainly not the case everywhere, but it certainly is here for whatever reason. Let's see. Trivia that you cannot live without but didn't know you couldn't. First Mardi Gras celebration in New Orleans on this day in 1827. But another one that for me, maybe it's my age, but 16-year-old Tiger Woods, youngest PGA golfer in 35 years, teed off in the LA Open on this day in 1992. And I just look back on that, and let's see, in 1992, I was 17. So we're about the same age. And I was a junior in high school. And I guess going into, at the time I was ending my junior year, this time of year, and going into my senior. It's just one of those milestones. I don't know about you, but when you look back on it and you just realize how fast time really does go by. Also, you realize how much a person can do, especially if they start young. That doesn't help when you're feeling behind. But what an incredible ride. He's had quite an incredible life as well. So with that said, look, I've been doing a lot of reflecting this week as I've been in action, but also a different type of reflecting. And reflecting while in action is different than just sitting around, quietly introspecting, turning it into some sort of rumination, unfortunately, sometimes. But I was watching a clip from Arthur C. Brooks, who's a Harvard professor. I think his official title is he's a happiness expert. But he's doing a lot of media and writing on happiness. The science of happiness. That's what it is. Arthur Charles Brooks, American author and academic. And he writes on the science of happiness. And he said something really, really powerful that resonated and helped me to put in words what I've been realizing since last weekend. And so here's where the real learning is. Last weekend, we were socked in with snow and ice. There was, we did go to the gym. We were able to get to the gym before the blizzard came, but had to stay at home and wasn't as active in all areas as I normally am. And so I remember having just an awful night of anxiety. And so anyway, came out of that, got into activity on Monday, and boom, the anxiety went from a 9 out of 10 to a manageable 2 or 3, like the normal operating anxiety. We'll call it OA. So what Brooks said in some kind of podcast was that anxiety is fear unfocused. He might have said unfocused fear, but I remember it as fear unfocused. And that was such a beautiful way to put it because it resonated with me. It's like if I'm not focused on doing something, and it can be anything, but if I'm not really, really focused on a plan, on a checklist, on the next right thing, it's almost like my fear gets extra power, gets to graze in the field and get more power. And when I'm in the field, tending the field, there's no room for it. But if I step back from the field, it takes the field. It takes the stage, essentially. So the question is, maybe that's a better construct, the stage. Kind of matches my business. If I'm on the stage and I'm working the stage, it doesn't mean I'm presenting on the stage. It can mean I'm scrubbing the stage. I'm waxing the floor of the stage. I'm redesigning the stage. I got to be doing something on the stage. Then the fear there's not enough room for the fear on the stage. But it's when I'm off that stage, not tending to it, it really opens it up and makes me vulnerable. And so just noticing the patterns over the years, and I think, we hear a lot about stoicism and people who achieve great things with great discipline and control. For me, the energy around this, though, is the opposite of control. It's focus. And focus includes understanding the things that I can't control. So it's deciding what I'm going to focus on, letting the other stuff go. And then I think the anxieties just doesn't have nearly the room. If you're solving problems and you're building new things, you're tapped into also the things you can't see that might be there. It's kind of like hope, The action creates a pathway for hope as well. And I think that keeps that anxiety from getting too strong and deafening. Some more learnings for this Friday. I'm going to have a great day. I'm going to connect with some wonderful people today. I've made a ton of progress last night on the messaging of my new offering and realizing how fast I'm moving. But I've got a really good description now of what I do. I need to put it on the website, and I need to update everything and just keep refining that language so it's clearer and clearer and clearer. But realizing that I am making huge, huge progress. And I'll say this, one reason I made the huge progress was that I called a respected friend and asked her to help me talk through some things. And she gave me some incredible perspective about me and my messaging. And then that helped me get to the next level. So thank you, Teresa. I don't know if you're listening, but thank you so much for your kindness and brilliance, really, and your heart. So with that, who can you reach out to today who will inspire you in a positive way, keep you focused out of anxiety or whatever negative state you fall into? That's the person you should talk to. In the meantime, have a great weekend and be good to yourself and others. And we'll look forward to checking back with you next week. All right. Bye-bye for now.